No one has claimed responsibility for the blast, but authorities believe it's the work of the Taliban. The federal government has announced a review of cases of long-term immigration detention, but a group of Melbourne lawyers is urging the immigration minister to also consider the detention of so-called absorbed residents. These involve people who've spent virtually all their lives in Australia but not taken up citizenship, then have had their visas cancelled on character grounds.
This woman's brother has been in immigration detention for 2.5 years. He moved to Australia when he was a child and has lived here for the past 2 decades. About 7 years ago, he was convicted of a criminal offence and spent 4 years in jail. His permanent residency visa was cancelled, and ever since he's been detained, challenging deportation.
I want my brother out. That's all I want. And my mum more than me. She wanted more than me, please. Just, let him out. Enough.
A group of lawyers, including Julian Burnside QC, who acted for the Tampa asylum seekers, is asking the federal government to change its policy on visa cancellations. In 1999, the Howard government altered the Migration Act, allowing residents to be deported on character grounds, regardless of how long they've lived in Australia. Most cancellations happen after a criminal conviction. Previously, residents of more than 10 years could not be deported.
People who have served a sentence which has been deemed appropriate by a court have paid for their crime. They've done their time, and the cancellation of their visas is really like a second chapter to their punishment, which is really unconstitutional.
The lawyers are also focusing their efforts on other cases, including a man who moved to Australia 26 years ago and has been in detention for 9 years. He is now 65. And another man who's 32. He moved to Australia nearly 20 years ago and has been in detention for 5 years. The lawyers say many of the detainees who failed in their challenge to deportation have been sent to countries whose language they don't speak and where they have no family or friends. Some suffer substance addiction or mental problems, and often no care is arranged for them when they arrive.
I suppose it's tempting to say, well, they've committed a crime, therefore we don't want them here. But, the fact of the matter is that when someone's been here since they were 3 months or 3 years old, they are Australian, and we can't just try and clean them out by using this deportation power.
The immigration minister plans to resolve the cases of 61 people who've been in detention for more than 2 years and has set an April deadline. The lawyers concede it may not be easy to attract sympathy for convicted criminals, but they say they're confident their message will strike a chord with the government and the general public. Rachel Baker, World News Australia.
New York Governor Eliot Spitzer has been forced to resign after